just to get some kind of commentary done. I think I'll put this one, I'll put this one on YouTube as a teaser, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep doing this. I would like to do this pretty much like per request or something like that. So this one is going, acronyming it'd be HIWU, HIWU, how I would use. And this was going to be about Sid Justice. I know him better as Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious, primarily Sid Vicious. And he was popular in WCW and whatnot, NWA, WCW era, the transitional phase, more or less. But he made more of an impact per se in WWE, WWF, only because there was a much larger audience. They were far more TV syndicate, and people like the extremely bright lights and dangling keychains. It was more about pageantry, not about work ethic. So people catered to that a lot more. Work ethic wrestling is epic. But when Sid Justice was in WWF, when I saw him, I was like, Sid Justice, and I'm like, what? So yeah, I was sort of taken aback, and I was like, okay, how's it going to be? And he came out trying to be a face, but everyone knows him more as a heel, and it seemed like that was his calling, to be a heel. It's like he enjoyed being a heel. There are people who are kind of neutral to a face, and you see him as a heel, you don't really see him enjoy it so much. You more like see him just do it. This guy seemed to enjoy it, and if he didn't, he fooled me epically. So he got there, and while he was strong, they kind of built him as a powerful monster, power bomb and all this other stuff. I'm just saying, it just seemed like he was lackluster. He just didn't seem, like he should have been. Sorry about that. Ooh. Yeah, he seemed very, not like he should have been. He wasn't Sid Vicious, and then it got to the point where the Sid Justice thing really wasn't working, but you couldn't go back to Sid Vicious because then it acknowledges where you got him from. And WWE is really good at saying, or WWE is really good at saying, this is our product. It is original. This person has never been anywhere else. That's a turnoff, okay? So, he comes in and he has a little bit of beef. I don't necessarily care to go over the history, just how he was used, I'm trying to stay away from the history. It's going to piss me off. So they don't use him properly. No one today says this person's not. He's not a Sid Justice. He's not a Sid Vicious. He's not a Psycho Sid. It sucks though. WCW days, the darker days. Yeah, he lost one of the fastest wrestling matches in his or anyone else's career. He lost the match, I think it was 7 seconds. I think it was. Sting comes in, clothesline, knocks him down. 1, 2, 3 in the corner. No rope holding, no hands on the rope or nothing. 1, 2, 3 done. It was like, what? So, yeah. Now, how would I have used him in WWF? And this, what? It would be honestly, if it was done like this in WWE today and whatnot, you know what? It'd probably be just as good. So hear me out, all right? And now look, if you got any objections or whatnot, let me know in the comment section below. I love to hear from you. I really do. So this is how it would have worked them. It would have been very simple and repetitive for a little bit. He would have come down the aisle during the match of a championship match. And when the championship match is televised, it's not legitimate. Therefore, okay, yeah, we know about wrestling, but let's just go on the pageantry of wrestling. All right. So we know that he comes down the aisle. It's during a title match. It's on Saturday night's main event. It could be Superstars of Wrestling. It could have been anything. It could have been Raw, SmackDown. It wouldn't even matter. He comes down during a title match. And yes, I know there has been title changes on Raw. More infamous to me was Triple H taking it from Benoit, just saying, give it to me, you don't deserve it, give it here now, and just screaming like a little child until Benoit handed it over. Okay, now he comes down during the title match and he just annihilates the champion. It has to be roughly around the middle of the match. He comes down, champion's like, who the hell and why the hell? and he gets in the ring. He looks at both of them. He attacks the champion. He attacks the challenger. He grabs the champion, powerbomb the living shit out of him. Right there, middle of the ring, grabs the belt, throw it down on the champion. Announces himself not as Sid Justice, but you know what? If you wanted to do Sid Justice, he would be Sid Justice, and I'm going to bring order to this company. My order. Simple, said, done. Every time the champion has a match, whether it's tag team or not, he will find a way to get to that ringside. Do not do the whole play the music, he come down there, yada, yada, yada. No, he walks down there. No one even notices at first. The crowd erupts. No one knows what's going on in the ring because it's at a heavy part of the match. He gets in. People are like, what the hell? What the fuck is this? He come in, grabs the champion, just pummels him a little bit, power bombs him in the ring, leaves while the ref is probably distracted, or even if not, because Justice doesn't care if it's watched. It just needs to happen. That's how that goes. So this happens about 3 or 4 times. All right. Now the champion is like, you know what? I know you're after me. I'm sick of you. Yada yada yada. You're coming into my matches. All this and that. Now Sid doesn't talk at all. Any of this. There are no managers. No nothing. Then you have the champion, you know, say, look, either if it's the cowardly champion like Triple H, then it's stay away from me. You need to be barred from ringside, yada, yada, yada. So there's always security right there at the ramp. Problem, Sid comes through the crowd now. He gets to the champion while the champion is on the floor, after being dumped on the floor, powerbombs him on the floor, lets him know, I did this to you, and walk away. Champion's too battered from that. All right, now it's time for Sid to have some matches. It's been 5 damn weeks. Now it's time to have some matches. So now he's going to have 3 matches, all right? So he does his 3 matches, and he has a brutal throwback moveset. And that's like, you know, the headlock, knees, body slam. He'll even, Sid's tall. He'd be great to do a suplex or a stalling suplex. Like 3 different types of body slams. A standing power slam, clothesline, side headlock. You know, he gets frustrated, slam him to the post. I mean, like shoulder through the turnbuckles into the post. That's what you do. You have him be brutal in the ring. And you don't name it a Justice powerbomb or nothing like that. Just, it's a powerbomb. That's it. And he would have 2 versions of it. Actually, might have 3. He could have 3 versions of it. All my favorites anyway. He'd have the normal release, you know, just pick him up, power bomb. All right. He could have Scott Norton's power bomb where he picks him up, kneeling power bomb into that single leg fold. All right, which is nice. And then, or he got the wild bomb, which seems like it would suit him, but it just depends. It might suit someone that's actually shorter, like Malenko, Saturn, Benoit, Guerrero, you know, those type size wrestlers. Someone, you know, like Will Ospreay, he's like just teetering too tall, but he's so flimsy he could pull it off. Someone like that, you know. Sid would also at that moment have other, you know, backdrops, back breakers, side busters, power moves, you know, things like that, you know, build up into it. And then when you have his move set for everyone to see and everyone to know, you make sure that he doesn't necessarily squash people, but they don't really stand a chance either. Then when you're done, when he's done with that, the champion is also talking trash. He's talking trash on the mic. He uses his opponents to make an example. It comes time for the title shot. Why? Because he done beat up on the champion. The champion's got to go after him. The champion goes after him. The champion loses. Why? Because Sid beats the brakes off of him. It wouldn't matter which one it is. Sid beats the brakes off of him. All right. Now the champion does fight. The champion goes through his move repertoire, do all this other stuff. Sid just keeps fighting back. It's not that he won't stop. It's that he is a monster. He fights that hard. Then the champion obviously loses. Sid's champion. Great. Belt looks great on him at that time. At that time, great height, great body, good tan, nice style of clothing, that blue and black. Perfect to hold that belt. It didn't matter what the belt looked like. He'd make it look good. It's pageantry with WWF, remember? So at that moment, he's champion. While he's champion, you know what he does? He wrecks shop. He runs out on others' matches and beats the shit out of them as champion. He does that. And then, let's say the women's division needs help. easily could some female tag along with him that's just as nasty as he is, and she's brutalizing people. He comes out and he helps her at times. That's how you also help spark the women's division. Sid never tags up. Never, ever, ever does he tag up. No reason to, nothing. He just might corner someone. That's it. Or corner the one he's going to hurt. That's about it. So he does his thing. He comes down and he starts beating the shit out of someone. He wants to go for his belt. But everyone's probably afraid to go after him. It's like, okay, then built up to be a juggernaut. Then you get that one person that says, you know what? I'm tired of you. I know you. I can get you. And that they have a small feud for a little bit. That's how you do stuff like that. That's how I would have ran Sid. And that person would have, it would have been a few attacks here and there. Then Sid would have eventually lost the belt to this person. Or beat him. And then have slightly the same go through with someone else. Or someone else. And then that would be a triple threat match. You know, and then Sid could hold that belt for about 6 or 7 months easy. And once that's done, then he loses the belt. Fine. Whoever he loses it to, it could have been the person he initially took it from. But someone that learned him, they elevated their game to the point where they could take him out. They could even cheat him out of the belt. And Sid could easily do promos about how that's not justice. Justice is when I do something, not you. You're not part of justice. You're not part of my law. You're not part of my world. You will suffer the consequences of this. Justice, just like you at the end of this, is blind. And then just break their fucking head open at the post. And it's like, oh no, my vision and stuff like they did with Jake Roberts. Except this person don't even come back to wrestling for a while. Let him heal. Let him get better. Do all that stuff. Give him some time off. Have him come back and just fight Sid in one of the best epic matches possible. Once, and then Sid loses, but loses awesomely. To the point where Sid says, I think I was in error. And Sid turns slowly into a face after that. Other wrestlers like, you used to be hardcore. Now you just, you know, you're all nice and stuff. What's this? So they doubt Sid. Then he goes through that stuff. And then he's got to earn his way through the quote unquote locker room as this, okay, I'm nice, but, you know, don't forget, you know, and run with him like that. That's how I would have done Sid justice. That's how I would have, and you know what? Screw the whole gimmick copyright thing. It would have got to the point where he would have, another storyline for him could have been how he's getting sick and tired of certain people doing certain things and how the atmosphere around the company has altered and it just bugs him. He can't stand it. No epic cinematic gimmick crap. It just shows that he's in deep contemplation when he's doing some of his matches. When it's over, he just don't look right. He just looks like he's really thinking about something, like he's really weighing, almost like he's weighing his career. And he leaves. He does this for about damn near, I say a month or two. And then something happens that would switch him, not face, not heel, but vicious. That's when he would get the Sid Vicious moniker, because he would come out and just absolutely beat the brakes off of somebody, basically saying, y'all forgot, and I'm here to remind you. This isn't about being right. This ain't about being wrong. This isn't about unjust or just. This is about being vicious, like this company has been, and there's no one that's going to stop me. That's how you have somebody, that's what I think how you have somebody run through. And you keep going through this stuff. And he could be vicious for 8 to 10 months before calming down to something else. And then you keep going back and forth. And later in life, you'll be like, well, how many times did you go from Sid Justice to Vicious? That's why you have to make sure it almost seems like it's once a year. Or maybe every year and a half. And make sure that if anything, you talk to the talent to make sure when he wants to make the change. Because if you don't want to make the change, it's not going to look right. That's how I see it. So let me know how you feel down there. This is how I would have ran Sid. This is how I would have used Sid Vicious. All right. If you got a channel and you want to do one saying, hey, this is what I would have done, let me know. But I was just sitting there chilling thinking, man, Sid Vicious kind of got a raw deal. No one really remembers him. What's up with that? Because I love some Sid Vicious. Oh, this is Cedric Kennedy for CR Wrestling Commentary. And these are my thoughts. These is my HIWU. Talk to you later. The winner of the match is Devolution Storm.